Hi, this is Scott with eTrailer, and today we're going to be taking a look at and installing our CURT Class III hitch for our 2025 Kia Telluride. Kia Telluride is becoming a really popular vehicle, so if you have the third row option in yours, that kind of limits your amount of space that you're going to have in your cargo area. So when you got your seat up, space is really limited back there. So extend your capacity, which you can haul on your vehicle. What you can do is you can add a hitch. And when you do that with one of these, it really opens up a lot of possibilities. You can put a cargo carrier on there, you can have your bike racks on there, and with the CURT hitch, it's a really nice option because you can also tow with a small trailer, maybe a small camper, if you add the optional wiring harness. This CURT hitch is going to have a tongue capacity of 750 pounds, and that's the amount of weight pushing down on the tongue here itself. And that's with the weight of everything you have in like a cargo carrier, or say you have a bunch of big e-bikes on the back, that'll be the capacity for that. As far as gross trailer weight rating, that's going to be 5,000 pounds, and that's going to be the weight of your trailer and everything that you have on it. Now with weight distribution, you can bump that up to a 6,000 pound gross trailer weight rating, but keep in mind you do want to check your owner's manual and make sure that your vehicle is up to hauling that amount of weight. This hitch does have a really nice gloss finish, and it matches really well with the back of our Telluride. This one has kind of a two-tone effect, so you have a flat down here and then you have a gloss up here. So with this one you could really go either way. You could go with a hitch that has the flat or the gloss. With this one it kind of alternates, so I think it looks really good. This one is going to be the hidden tube, cross tube design, so you're not going to have a tube or anything sticking out of the back. Your lower portion of your receiver tube is all you're really going to see. As far as your measurements go, from the center of the pinhole out to the edge of the bumper, you're looking at right about 3 inches. So that's going to be pretty flush with your bumper here. That's the number you're going to want to have. So if you have a bike rack that can fold up and stow away, you're going to want to know that your bike rack will be able to come back up and not hit the back of your vehicle. As far as from the top of the tube here to the ground, we are looking at right around 15.5 inches. And with that number, that's going to allow you to figure out if you need any rise in like your bike rack, so you're not bumping the ground or anything down here. They'll give you enough clearance in the back, and that's the number you'll need for that. This hitch does have a 5/8 pinhole here, and that's going to allow you to lock in any of your accessories that go on. This hitch does not come with the pin, but you can get them here at eTrailer. But a lot of your accessories already have a pin with it. Another nice option with the pin is the locking type. What that's going to allow you to do is lock in any of your accessories into your receiver so it can't be taken off when you're not around. Say you're parked somewhere to store, nobody can pull off your accessory and disappear with it. As far as your loops, it's going to have your good rounded heavy-duty loops. It's going to accommodate any of your safety chain style hooks. It's going to accommodate your clevis style hook, which is really nice, heavy-duty option. Or it will also accept your standard S-style safety loops. Installation for this hitch is really straightforward. The instructions are really clear. There's no drilling or anything like that. If it's something you really don't feel like installing yourself, you can take a look at our dealer locator and get something put together locally so you can get it installed. Or if you feel like installing it yourself, you can stick around, watch our video, and we'll help you get it done. To start our installation, what we're going to need to do is get our spare tire out of the way. So in the back of our hatch here, we're just going to turn our spare tire bolt until we get it down to the ground. On the back of our fascia here, we have this panel. We're going to go ahead and remove that and just get that set to the side. We have our little pop clips here. We have 2 of them right here on the back. Just want to get a screwdriver in there and wiggle that around and just pull that out. Do that with both of those. On the back side of our panel, we have 2 Phillips screwdrivers. We're just going to remove those. And set those aside. Now we should be able to pop down our panel, pull down by our tabs, and just pop it down and move that out of the way. On our driver's side, we're going to have this underbody panel here we're going to have to remove. And we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 pop clips here, and we're going to have 2 14mm plastic nuts up here. So same as the other, we're just going to go ahead and get these popped out with our screwdriver. We did notice that this fourth one down here on the bottom of our fender well for our mud flap, we don't have to remove that one, so we're just going to leave that one in place. Now with the 14mm plastic nuts, we're just going to back them off. They're not really ever up there very tight, so you don't really have to put any pressure or anything on them. Just kind of back them out. And sometimes when you pull down on the panel a little bit, that helps as well. Now we can get that out of the way. We're going to need to get our exhaust out of the way so we have room to slide our hitch in place. So what we're going to need to do is get our exhaust supported. So what I'm going to use is a cam buckle strap and just find a good solid location to get it hung up. And you'll want to go in front of where your isolators are. So we have one here, and then we have another one over here on the side. So with that hooked up, we just pull our strap tight. That's going to support our exhaust while we remove our isolators. Now we have a bottle with some soapy water, usually just some dish soap and some water. We'll spray our isolators. And we have our third one over here on the side. And after we give them a spray, we usually just give the exhaust a little shake. And that's going to help get that fluid inside of that isolator. And it's going to make them easier to remove. And once we get those sprayed, what we're going to do is come back through. Sometimes you can get it by hand. You may be able to use a large screwdriver or maybe a pry bar, whatever it takes to get them off. You can also use an exhaust isolator tool. It's kind of like a pair of pliers that'll pull them off. But usually what we do is just try them by hand, and if that don't work, then we'll go to a pry bar. Sometimes they can be a little tricky to get off of there, so just take your time. Sometimes you can get behind them and bump the end of your pry, and that'll break them loose. Now we got all those broke loose. We can come back to our cam buckle strap, hold on to our exhaust, and push a button on the strap and just bring it down some. You don't want to keep it supported, but you want to make it so you can kind of move it around a little bit and still be able to get up in here. Now on both sides of our lower part of our frame here, we have these little rubber plugs. We're going to remove these before we get our hitch under here, just to make sure that they're not in the way of our installation. So we don't want to get our hitch all the way under here and see that they're in the way and then have to mess with them. So for now, we're just going to remove them. After we get the hitch installed, we can always reinstall them and just pop them right back in. Now with an extra set of hands, we'll just get our hitch put in place. Just want to get them in finger tight, just enough to hold it in place. As far as your hardware goes, you're going to have your bolt and your conical washer. You just want to make sure that your teeth are going up, facing the hitch. Now we'll move on to the bolts that go through our hitch and into the frame. Same kind of deal with our conical washers. You're going to want those facing the hitch. And then on the other side, you're going to want the other side facing the frame. Now with these, they can be a little tricky. You may have to put your conical washer on because they do have like a body adhesive under here that's going to get in the way. If you try and put the bolt through with the washer on, so you may have to get on the other side of the body adhesive and then go through with your bolt. and that works a lot better. That way you're not having to fight with it. And on the back side, we'll take our conical washer with the teeth facing the frame and follow that up with our nut. And we'll follow the same procedure on the other side. Now with this side, once you get them lined up, it may give you a little problem because there is a little heat shield right there. So you're gonna have to overcome that. So what you can do is just give it a little tap. Now we'll follow the same procedure with our hardware as we did on the other side. Just remember the teeth facing the frame. And follow that up with a nut. Once we have everything in and started, we'll go ahead and come back through and we'll just snug them down. Now we'll go back through and torque all our hardware down to the torque specifications listed in our instruction manual. Now that we have all of our hardware torqued down, we can go ahead and get our exhaust back in place. Now if it gives you any trouble putting it back on, you can use the same method of spraying it down with your soapy water and it'll pop right back in place for you. Once we get those put back in place, now we can remove our strap. Now once we have our marks where we want, we went by the instructions and we took a measurement here where it said and here where it said, and we just marked out our lines. Now we'll go ahead and get this trimmed out and see how it fits. Now on the driver's side, we'll go ahead and put our plastic panel back in place. And we'll just push our plastic push pins back in place. Reinstall the rubber plugs on both sides because they did not interfere with our install. So that's something you could just leave in place if you wanted to. Those will not be in your way. After you've got your panel all trimmed out and cleaned up, we'll just go ahead and get that reinstalled. Slide it over your hitch and pop it up in the tabs, up into the top part of the fascia. Pop them back into place. And once you have it popped back in place, you can install your plastic push pin clips. Now all we have left to do is get our spare tire put back up underneath of it, and that'll do it for our installation. And that's it for our look at the CURT Class III hitch for our 2025 Kia Telluride. I'm Scott with eTrailer, and thanks for watching.